Hi, in this video, I'd like to talk about creating assignments. We can do this a couple of different ways, but we're going to start by logging in, selecting our class, and then going to modules. As I've mentioned in some of my other videos, I think it's important that we just set up everything in modules or units so that students have one place to see their quizzes, their assignments, their discussions, etc. So if I have a unit set up on narration, I might have a lecture on narration, and then I might have an assignment, but let's go ahead and create a new assignment. All right, so I'm going to call this a citation practice because I'm going to have students show me that they know how to use MLA format. So I'm going to add the item, and I'm going to go here and edit. And this is where I will post my instructions. If you already have a Word document saved on your computer, the best thing to do is to copy and paste that document right here in the assignment area. A word of advice: if you just upload it as a file, the students will not be able to submit anything there. So you have to have an assignment area. If you uploaded an assignment already as a file, here in the assignment area, you can say, please see the assignment instructions on the previous page, right? Because I already uploaded a file. And I'm able to give it a point value. So let's say it's worth 50 points. This is probably the most important thing. You have to allow them to submit online. When it says no submission, that's because you've collected the work in the live classroom, which we're not doing the rest of the semester. So click on no submission, tell it that they're going to submit online. They can either give a text entry where they type everything into that box, or upload files. If you want them to submit a URL because maybe they posted an online page somewhere, or maybe you want them to record their voice because they're giving a presentation, you can select these as well. But for most assignments, you'll probably do one or the other, or both. Now you also have due dates that you can set and available access dates as well. I'm going to skip that for now. So save and publish. Okay, so here's my assignment. Here's the point value. I'm also going to add a rubric. Now, if you've made other rubrics in the past, you can find it, or you can just start with a new one. So I'm going to say citations, and I'm going to edit and say sources. Has the student identified 3 credible sources? And maybe that's only worth 5 points, or let's say 10 points. All right, but I want to say they can get more than all or nothing. Maybe they don't have 3 sources, and maybe they only have 1 source. So I'm going to give them 5 points there, and this is going to be needs improvement. And full marks might be exceeds expectations. If I want to add more, I can say not sufficient. However I want to title these. All right, so I might say 10 points, this one instead of 5 points. You know, I'm going to give them 7 because I'm going to say meets expectations because that person did the minimum, but it's C quality work. So I've got 10 points here. Now I want to identify something else. So I'm going to add another criteria of grading, and I'm just going to duplicate the one I already filled out here. And instead of sources, I'm going to say citation style. Are all 3 sources, if I knew how to type, sources in proper MLA citation style? Update. And you'll see it has the same ranking. So I'm only at 20 points so far. So maybe I also want to grammar. I want to grade their grammar. Has the student explained, well, has the student explained why each source is credible? and I'm going to call this content. And now I'm going to do grammar. Grammar. Is the writing free of grammatical errors? And then for my last 10 points, let's say length. Has the student submitted at least one full page of writing? Again, I'm just creating this as quickly as possible. You can submit your own rubrics. You can copy and paste content from rubrics you've already created. And here it is, ready to go on the assignment page, and students will see this. So down here, you can free-form comments on the rubric when you are grading, or you can remove points from the rubric, etc. I like to just use this rubric for assignment grading because that makes it faster for me in the long run. So I'm going to create the rubric, and now I have the whole assignment. I have the assignment instructions, the points, how it's going to be submitted, how it's going to be graded, and students are able to see it. So I'm going to go back to modules. Actually, I'm going to go look at it as a student. I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to go to my student view. So here I am on the home page. I'm going to click on modules, and I'll see that assignment there, citation practice. So I can click there. Ooh, I might not have it. Oh, I do have it. Okay, so I already opened it. Here's my instructions. Again, here's how I'm going to turn it in. I can see the rubric. I'm going to submit an assignment. And students have the option to upload a file or do a text entry. So I'm going to say, I found these 3 sources, www.cnn.com, www.nbc.com, and www.nationalgeographic.com. So a student has posted 3 websites. Clearly, this is not all we were looking for in this particular assignment, but I'm going to show you how then you can grade it. So student has submitted, and I'm going to leave the student view now, because now I'm in as the professor. I'm going to go home, go to the grade book, and I'll show maybe another video on how to use the gradebook in all its efficiency and all its splendor. But here is a student work or a student assignment. I'm going to click on this little arrow, and I'm going to go to the speed grader. Look, there's the student's work. He or she wrote, I found these 3 sources. This is not at all what I was looking for, so I might say this is incomplete. See the attached rubric. And now I'm able to easily give it a score. So remember the sources. I asked, has a student identified 3 credible sources? Well, they did, so they met expectations. Their citation style, though, was not in MLA format. The content was not sufficient. The grammar, how can I really grade them on much of anything? And the length, I'm going to give them 0. So this particular student earned 13 out of 50 points. I'm going to save it. The 13 automatically shows up there, and I submit the grades. So it's a really fast, easy way just to grade things that are relatively low stakes. Once we get to the essay assignments, you're going to probably add a little bit more content to the grade book, but that's a great way to get started. So hopefully you don't have any problems adding assignments and grading those activities.